Oh yeah, I got this done.
Huh?
I said, oh yeah, I'm done.
You got it, cousins?
Yeah.
Jason, is there anything you need me to help you do?
I think I'm all right.
Okay.
Good? All right, everybody ready? Let's go.
I'm ready.
All right, I want to welcome everybody tonight. We got a good crowd. The official time 6:02. I'd like to welcome you to the March 2nd, 2021 meeting. This time I'd like to call this meeting in order and an approval agenda. Before I ask for that, we've got a advertised planning and zoning item that we need to add to the agenda tonight. So upon the approval of the agenda, I need that added to the motion for approval.
All right. Motion to approve the agenda and also to add planning and zoning item, Chairman.
All right.
Second.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Kitchens, would you do the honors tonight to open the meeting with us?
Yes, sir. I'd be glad to. Will bow your heads and pray with us. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all you do for us. We thank you for loving us. We thank you for watching over us. Tonight, we just ask that you lay some special blessings on people that we know that may be hurting, may need your love, may need your comfort right now. Lord, you know what they need. Just ask that you lay your hands on them and give them the comfort that they need right now. Thank you for everything you give us, Lord, and we ask that you be with us tonight to guide our hearts and our minds to make decisions that would not only benefit our community but be pleasing to you. Thank you for all of our first responders, our law enforcement, our military. Continue to bless our county, our state, and our country, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Kitchens.
Yes, sir.
If we can, we'll move to our planning and zoning item tonight for trafficking.
Chairman, our only item this evening is a request by Shalema Yakov. She has requested having a single-wide mobile home on a piece of property on Etheridge Road. The Planning Commission has recommended approval of this request. A single-wide mobile home is a conditional use in the Ag 1 district. Double wides are permitted, but they have to go through this process so that the board can look at the specific location and determine if it's appropriate for a single wide. Ms. Yakov is in California. I have her on the phone. If we have any questions for her, I'll be happy to put her on speakerphone.
And with that, any planning and zoning item, if you're hearing opposed to, we'll give you opportunity to speak also if you'd like to.
Ms. Yakov?
Yes, hi.
I've put you on speakerphone. If you have anything you want to say to the board, this would be a good opportunity.
Okay, right now I don't have anything to say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Is there any questions? All right. All right, no questions from the board? Anyone here tonight in opposition to this request? None? What's the board's wishes?
Motion to approve, Chairman.
Second.
Second? Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim. We move on tonight to board appointments. This is an appointment for Joy Carr to fill the unexpired term of Burt King as the Jones County Representative on the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities Regional Advisory Council. This term expires June 30 of 2021. Mr. King,
Mr. Chairman,
welcome.
members of the board, congratulations to you and to you, John. It's the first time I've had the pleasure to appear since the election, and
Thank you.
I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Judge Green asked me a while back to take over for him as the Jones County member of this board, and I was happy to do so, although I felt sort of like a useless appendage on a certain member of the livestock family, if you know what I mean. But the bottom line is I was happy to serve until we found somebody that was very qualified and competent for this. And if there's ever anybody that is, it's Joy Carr. She heads up, as y'all know, the Jones County Family Connection, which is a very important state-funded position. It's actually administered through the Board of Education, where she does a lot of things to help, especially young people in Jones County. And she fits the bill of the bio of most of the members of this board. So I recommend to y'all tonight that you allow her to step in for me, serve out the rest of the term, which ends this June, but then she will be, and I've got an email from the board saying she'll be able to, if she chooses, to serve 2 additional 3-year terms, and I think it's exactly what we need to do. But Joy is here if y'all got any questions for her or for me.
Come forward. We appreciate everything y'all do for this county, very much so.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to continue to advocate for children and families for Jones County. So, you have any questions for me?
Any questions? How about a motion?
Motion to appoint Ms. Joy Carr to fill the unexpired term of Burt King.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second, we have 2 seconds?
Second?
3 seconds.
Thank you.
You got that down, you got 3 seconds, all right? No more discussion, all in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
That's great. All right, we got our consent agenda and approval for the minutes. Looks like we're busy this day. We had a work session on February 16th, along with the 3rd Tuesday and an executive session. Y'all had an opportunity to look at the minutes, and things fine. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the work session, 3rd Tuesday, and the executive session.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you. New business tonight. Ms. Crutchfield, we got our FY20 budget amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I told Lita I'd
Oh.
start off and then I'd kick it over to her
No
first.
wonder she give me that look.
Call it too.
I got that look. I said, what did I do? I thought she was coming up. Okay.
So, just for the benefit of the new members of the board, primarily, there's this really strange concept in governmental accounting where they want you to come back after the close of the fiscal year and amend your budget to get it to match up with all your actuals. And so it's something that we have to do every year, sort of around audit time, I guess. And so that's what you have before you tonight is an amendment of the budget that we completed 6 months ago. So, that's about all I have. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions. The concept has never made sense to me, but it's a governmental accounting thing. And so we're just here to ask you guys to approve that amendment tonight.
I got one quick one. Looks like the local splosh is up almost 250,000. Are we still trending in that direction currently?
We are. We've continued to have good months on SPLOST. I think there was probably about 10 months ago now, there was a change in the way that Department of Revenue calculated SPLOST, or maybe there was another category of goods. I think it dealt with online sales. And so that happened about the same time the pandemic was really ramping up, and so I think people's shopping patterns changed, and we had more people shopping locally, coupled with that change in state law that kicked in about that time. So yeah, our collections have looked great.
All right. Any other questions?
Unless you-
Motion in order?
Sure, motion. Motion to approve the amended budget.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. I got to sign it, don't I? Hold on. While we're here, she needs it signed like,
So while we're signing, I'm gonna ask another one. CARES Act, that we spend more than we actually took in, the 1.3 million, are we,
So basically what happens to that money is it had to be booked in the fiscal year that you're approving there, just based on governmental accounting standards and guidance that we received from the auditors and so forth. So that money basically becomes part of your fund balance.
oh, so directly over?
What was that?
I said, so it went directly over, but I was just curious, did we spend extra considering the additional things we had to do? Any PPE requirements?
No.
Twice.
And I,
It's two times.
and I hate to throw out.
That's why she's
numbers.
here, right?
Yeah.
She's-
But if, you know, if I sat down and totaled up everything that we've spent, you know, COVID related, over and above what we normally spend, let's go really conservative, and I'd say less than $500,000.
Yeah.
I think we've spent a lot less than that, to be honest with you. But you know, we got 1.3 million in CARES Act funding. So you know, we probably cleared is not the right way to put it, but we probably added $1 million to our fund balance. If I had to guess, when you look at the difference between what we actually spent on COVID-related things and the amount of money we got under the CARES Act.
I love it. We were just taking note that pistol permits were up $10,000, so it's a lot of people buying gun permits. Welcome to the club. And then I noticed, lastly, the revenue total, we're up $2 million.
So that may be partially related to the CARES Act money.
And also the proceeds,
Colin, there was two signatures.
the proceeds is in your loan proceeds, the $1.4 million that we had for the loan,
Oh, yeah.
that's part of your revenue.
Okay.
So that's really what made your revenue increase that amount of money.
I was getting all excited. I was about to
I
yell,
saw you.
I was about to yell rollback. Okay.
Calm down.
Okay. It's getting excited. Rollback. Okay. Sorry. We'll see this year. Thank you.
And that little bit, right? I got special instructions to get it done before she leaves there.
Yes, ma'am.
She's the boss.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, before Levita gets out of the room, we just finished up the audit process for this year, and so results of that will be forthcoming, but you know, Levita puts in a lot of time and effort, and just wrapped all that up, so appreciate all her work on that.
Many a late night.
You have to tell
I
me.
just want to let everybody know while you guys were in here for your 5 o'clock meeting, I just got the final audit, so you will get it in the morning.
All
I
right.
just received it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We
Thank you.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you, lady, for everything.
All right. You're up again, Blight Software.
Okay, so this is the package that was demonstrated at a work session a few weeks ago, and what you have before you here are the two agreements related to this. And so the first agreement is for the iWork piece of it, which is the add-on to our existing software. The same company owns the Text.gov platform, which works with it, and so I think what I understand is that the iWork piece of it is $3,500, and the Text.gov piece is $1,500. So it would be a total of $5,000 for both.
So we're allowed 75,000 text messages per year?
Yes.
Okay. If Mr. Scoville is listening, he is not allowed to do all 75,000.
Have to spread it around.
Just want to let him know.
We're gonna start charging him after that.
His response is, well, then how many?
I
He's
love
probably sitting
George.
at home laughing right
I
now.
love George. I appreciate him. Motion to approve, because this has been long overdue. Let's get it done.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. 3 seconds. There you go
Good
again.
tonight.
Oh, we're on the road tonight.
I know.
Can
Y'all
we,
racing for these seconds. All right.
can we roll this out on a nice big page where people can see it and know how to text? And we already have it set up for it to go to Public Works if it's a road and other issue, and then over to Tiffany for the other issue.
I think
And then for you for follow-up.
Question, what's the
Just making
time frame
sure.
of bringing this online?
want to say he said it was just a matter of weeks. I remember that question being asked at the work session, and I think he said it would just be a matter of weeks to get it up and running.
All right, just making sure it wasn't months or years,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
okay.
Any more discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Great
Congratulations.
American Cleanup, Ms. Bilderback. I get calls every single week.
All right, I am here for our Great American Cleanup, and I was just wanting to know, see if I could get some help or participation. How would everybody would like to help me carry this Great American Cleanup out?
Right.
Any suggestions? Is what really about what I came for. Any suggestions or ideas?
So in the Blight meeting, we talked about an all hands on deck. So obviously this month is March, and it's our chance to get out. I don't know when Sam was talking about doing the challenge, but a commissioner to my left offered $2 a bag, so we need to take advantage. We need to take advantage of that right now.
Clubs and organizations.
To clubs and organizations. So we need to take advantage of that right now. March is as good a time as any. Will you plan to do the challenge this month or next?
We were looking at April the 17th. It's right before that they were talking about the turkey trot that they're going to have at right there beside Carroll's Park.
Okay.
And it's right there at the end of school break.
Right. I had a lady call today, she said, please tell me how I can help. She said, because I'm getting tired of, she said, I do my neighborhood weekly, but if there's anything I can do to help, so I mean, we need to really pump this up, because there's a lot of people that want to come and help, and they just don't know how, and that's
Right.
what she wanted to know, how she could help.
And
Well,
I
for-
actually had a lady the other day that had contacted me, and I noticed her on Railroad Street walking and picking up trash the other day when I went to the board office.
Well, Keep Georgia Beautiful are going to be providing some, they're going to provide a big sign that says Great American Cleanup, trash bags, grabbers, buckets, PPE, water. So those are going to be provided through Keep Georgia Beautiful. And another idea somebody had is maybe something we could do, change it week to week, would be a dumpster in a big area that has lots of, where they could do like a neighborhood cleanup and just throw it into a dumpster and, kind of like a amnesty type thing, whatever you go, can go on in.
I
for
love it.
Maybe like for a week or
That'd be great in
So
Haddon.
I was thinking about this. So at the next meeting, can we we'll get a flyer up that
Okay.
we can send out.
Okay.
So that everybody knows what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe start with, for the 5 weeks between now and April,
Mm-hmm.
it's close to 5 weeks, each commissioner at the next meeting tell you where they think the best spot in their area for a dumpster for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take it Friday afternoon. We authorize Public Works to take it Friday afternoon and pick it up Monday morning in a common area in each district. People can dump their stuff in it. We got to be careful though about, not let them know, don't put tires and stuff in there.
Oh,
'cause
yes.
We're gonna have to separate that out. But, basically an amnesty day, I think that would be good. And, so we do that for 5 weeks. We have the cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
We also need to plan to get the word out. And then maybe, like we did 2 years ago, authorize some overtime for the weekend that we do the cleanup so that our public works rides around with trailers. Because there's a lot of people that say, I'd be glad to clean up in my neighborhood, but I can't get the trash in my car to the dump site in Gray. So we had some of them just laying them along their neighborhoods, and we go along and pick the trash bags up off the side of the road.
Get it bagged up into the curbside.
How about tire amnesty? That needs to happen at a convenience center where we can.
Well, hopefully we can put it up there at the weigh-in station and have it for that weekend. We just need to put it separate, right? And then haul it to, I think Tiffany was getting some information on that. About
Well, I am getting
what
some
was
information. They have a grant that they, but it takes it could take up to 9 weeks to do the grant, but it covers everything from the tires to hauling. But I'm supposed to be getting some more information on that. And Tiffany told me if I did the paperwork that she would man the,
make
she
sure
would
they're
make,
going
she
to
would man,
tires
she
and
would
everything.
man the trailer.
Yeah, because we talked about this last year. We
Right.
got to have say a 5 tire limit for households because, so people don't bring 75 tires from the back
Tire-
of their,
and tire- well,
from their business and throwing for us to haul off for them.
in my experience on the tire and amnesty, I find more on the side of the road in my cleanup efforts than I do, so.
And hopefully that solves some of that. I'd rather them throw it in a dumpster that we're gonna pay to haul off than us spend the time to pick it up off the side of the road, put it in a dumpster and then haul it off and pay for it.
So at the next meeting, when I come to this, I'll have all the information that we need for doing this tire amnesty that the grant is for.
Sure.
I mean, it seems, I've talked to, Keep Noonan Beautiful, or Coweta County, and she has done it, like, she says you can even do it more than once a year. So, I mean, it's something that she said she would help me take care of the paperwork that she's done, and so that sounds like a winner.
Right.
And we talked about doing something each month. So if in your spare time you can kind of plot out a calendar for activities, but in the initial launch, let's figure out how we can adopt some of these big streets. If it's in April, we got spring break. There might be some opportunities for clubs and organizations to come out and participate.
Okay.
We can ask the Board of Ed, Tri-County, and the Water Department to put those notifications out as well. And if we got a print flyer so kids can take them home, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Here's the day we're going to be out. Bring your kid out. Let's make a difference in our community.
So who could I get in touch, who do I get in touch with through any, like the Board of Education or?
That would go through the superintendent.
Superintendent.
To go to the schools, teach
All right.
schools. The PR director at Tri-County,
Okay.
Kim.
Brown?
Yeah, Kim Brown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jeffrey, you can handle the water bill?
All right.
Would it
So
make
any-
sense? Would it make sense? I don't know if Brian's sending anything out for tax folks or any of the notices that are going out. Would it make sense to drop it on there too?
I don't know if we get, they won't go out till what, October?
Right.
The assessments go out early though.
The assessment notices go out, there May 15th, but that's done by a third-party vendor,
Ah,
so
okay.
that would be kind of,
Okay.
you know.
And are we gonna, I was just thinking about the number of dumpsters that we have available to put out.
John, how many, maybe you know that, how many could we put out on a, because we're only gonna do one
Okay.
per week. I
Okay.
mean, we're not gonna put,
Oh,
I
that's,
don't think we're able to put 5
right, okay.
out
gotcha.
at one time, and then, so if we had 3, 4 that we could put out.
I'll have to see what we got in there.
You can find 3, 4, 5.
I know they're really tight, because I saw Russell running Sunday with the,
Oh, yeah, he goes to Overland and tries to clean out 2 or 3 cans on
right, and it
Come
filled,
on.
about 2 hours later, it was back full.
Oh, yeah.
Another thing we might can do, I got a couple of contacts I can get that have, waste management services that will put theirs on it with their name on the side of it and say, hey, we're partnering with Jones County just to get their name out there, so.
That sounds good.
All right.
At
All right,
one
what about
time-
information for our flyer? What do we want to?
I think we keep the same
Okay.
logo that we've always had, and that way we stay similar and just
Okay.
change the dates on it. And, you know, maybe at the bottom of it, if we can get our calendar, or,
Okay.
I'll tell you something that's really worked that I've seen on a couple of flyers is a QR code that takes you to a website and says, here's our calendar, every day, what we
Well,
do,
that sounds
where
like,
it's
that
gonna
sounds
be.
better.
Because people are
Because you
gonna
can
put it
change
on.
that website
Mm-hmm.
daily.
People are gonna put it on Facebook, people are gonna, even in the newspaper, you can put the QR code, so they just scan it with their thing, and that way, on that website, you can advertise our sponsors too. You can
Right.
put, you know, Jones County News on the website, so when they go there, they see free advertisement for these folks that are working with us.
Okay.
Just clean it up. I'm ready. I know a good cook too. You don't need somebody.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. You know, we've had a cookout before. Is it, with COVID, is it, or can we do it and maybe just one person touch it and then we just do packaged lunches, prepackaged?
He makes a killer hamburger.
I think if we package it up so that, you know.
Like
it's
maybe just have, we know we used to do hamburgers, hot dog, maybe just do hot dogs and maybe put ketchup, mustard in the bags with some, as long as everything's prepackaged.
Mhm. The little styrofoam trays.
Yep, a lot of good ideas.
Yep. We'll make it happen.
Was there anybody we need to contact to see if, I mean, is there a COVID law or something like that, or are we just going with it?
Just,
6 foot.
All right.
yeah, we're outdoors.
All
CDC guy,
right, we're
yeah.
out. All right. Well, I was just thinking about with the food, contacting food. Was what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I
as
mean,
long
the
as it's
restaurant-
prepackaged, health department can give you some guidance on it.
Okay.
Just prepackaged, you're fine.
So as long as we cook it and put it right into a package
Yep. Yeah.
and have our mask and gloves on.
Any other questions? Is there any challenges tonight on the cleanup?
Oh, I got a standing challenge, y'all. Y'all better come on, step on up.
Somebody needs to unthrown our.
That's right.
I think I got enough trash.
Since
Save all your trash to be.
and y'all do know that just because we didn't get to have it last year, the reigning champion from the last 3 years, because it gets 4 years now. So
Is that how the Super Bowl
4
works?
years running.
John, I'm gonna need 2 dumpsters in my area.
And I got dibs on all Commissioner Vaughn's $2 bags that she's getting.
No, it's in April. You're out of it.
All right.
Well, if anybody has any ideas before our next meeting, just call me and let me know what.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We move on to new business number 4. Commissioner Kitchens, water bills.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it at the last meeting. So, how many of y'all got your water bill so far? I don't have mine. We talked about the timing between when we're sending water bills out and when they're due. And I know as a board, we decided that we had them, correct me if I'm wrong, Jeffrey, we had it where we would go before the cutoff. It was the second month before the cutoff, and we were running into issues with people that couldn't pay, and it got to the 2-month time, and they were having even a harder time paying in because the bill had gotten to a point where it was, almost out of control. But so we moved that back to 1 month and added a 7-day grace period, if I'm not mistaken. The problem is, and I'm just using round numbers, if we're reading the meter and we're reading the meter on the 1st of the month, and we're sending them out, and customers are getting them at the end of the month, and then they're due 10 days later back to the, your bill is due in 10 days from the time you get it. That don't give a lot of time. If I use last month, my bill came on a Friday on the 6th, and it was due on the 10th, on the 15th. So that give me 9 days from that Friday. Well, it'd be Monday before you could put it in the mail if you're mailing a check. That's 7 days if you did it right then. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't, as soon as it comes in, all right, I've been waiting to write this check, put it back in the mail. I gotta find envelopes and stamps and,
Procrastinate.
no, I mean,
Carrie's gonna do it.
yeah, babe, we got a bill. No, seriously though, I mean, for folks that, you think about if somebody goes on vacation for a week or 2 weeks and it comes the day they leave from vacation. I just think we need to, I think we got a 30 to 45 day window there, but we, and I don't mean we internally, I think we, the process of reading the meter, getting the information, getting it to a third party mail out company and getting it to the customer takes 20 days of the 30 days, and it leaves the 10 days of the 30 on the customer to get it back. So I don't think that's fair. I think we need to figure out how we shorten our timeline, or either we make it, we read the meter 15 days later, our billing starts. So it's a 45-day billing period, however that works.
Good question. And I'm gonna reference back to the city of Gray. I think we need to probably look at their process. They maybe use our sister down there I think they're running a month behind. I know Monday morning when I went to the post office, my water bill for my office was in my mailbox, and among other stacks for the commercial properties too. So they're running a month behind, so it allows for extra billing time. I got it on the 1st, it's due on the 15th. Then they have a cutoff period after that. So we may need to look at, like you say, some timing issues there.
We run a month in arrears also.
Okay.
But what we did I'm surprised you didn't get yours, Sam, because we actually had people paying the bills on Saturday. We sent the packet out on the 23rd to South Data, it's a 24-hour turnaround. They process it and they send it out in the mail. In fact, we've had people, I asked the ladies in the office that, are on the system, I said, let me know when you get your bill. They got it on Saturday. So, it might be just in terms of worries for, Commissioner Kitchens is on the route. But, so we increased our time this month just to see how it would affect. And to be honest with you, for the second of the month, usually we don't get a lot of mail. We had a huge amount of mail today because the bills actually got there earlier. And we can do that. We can tweak it a little bit in terms of the timing. Of course, what we did, the due date is the same. The penalty date is the same as it's always been. But what we did, instead of cutting off right there right after the 16th, we added a 7-day grace period. You're going to get penalized if you didn't pay, but you still won't get cut off until another 7 days. So if you figure in the days that you have at the beginning of the month and the 7-day grace period, you're talking, over a 2-week period. The mail system is, what we're doing at the office is trying to encourage everybody to use other options of payment. In fact, the online payment, the automated number, it has decreased our mail by half. We are half of the customers now are using the automated payment system rather than the mail, and we're encouraging people to use those options. And I think when COVID hit, people started to use these options and they enjoyed it because you can make a payment any time of the day or night and weekend. It doesn't matter. The payment will be there instantly. So we're seeing a decrease in the use of the mail, and that's what we're trying to do. There's another option that we're going to have is the ACH, and that's going to hopefully begin in the beginning of April, and that's going to tweak the mail, the volume of mail down even farther. I think rather than having to change all this, because you can't just get the bills out early without causing other issues down the line in terms of Tyler software has our dates and our times already into the system. We're going to have to rearrange all that if we want to do that. Also, you have to take into consideration that with the reader reads that are coming in, it's going to be a lot easier for that meter reader to get the reads in a lot quicker. And we're hoping that that process will begin somewhere in April. And I'm looking at probably early summer that all those will be in. So that process too will be streamlined. You have to remember what the process used to look like several years back. Because when I was a meter reader for 5 years, they didn't send out the packet to South Data until the very end of the month or the beginning of the following month. They received their bills on the 7th or 8th. It was extremely late time period. And so the time period that you had to pay your bill was extremely short. But we have cut that tremendously. And I have to say that, there's plenty of options to pay your bill outside of using the mail. And if those folks that want to get their bill early, South Data can email the bill right to you. You'll get it as fast as when they ship out the packets in the mail. Those that sign up for email can get their bills emailed to you you'll get it a few days early before you go in the mail. We have a lot of people that do that. So,
Jeffrey, if you can do this for me.
yes.
When the last meter is read, I assume that's when you get the data, and that's when you send it to South Data, right?
Yes, when we capture all the reads, because you got, some of them are manual, some of them are reading. We go through it and just, sometimes you'll get these readings, what they call abnormal reads. They're higher than what they should be. So then you want to go back out and just see what's going on. if there's a leak or something else, and we can take care of that situation rather than having someone get their bill and have a higher reading that we'll have to deal with again. So there's a time period there.
So you stop the whole billing process, or you don't start it
We don't
until
start it until all
after?
that's finished.
We're gonna fix that, okay? Because I'd rather give people more time up front and verify, because if there's an issue with it, you still gotta fix it later anyway. You don't normally fix it right
Yeah,
then.
That process only takes an afternoon. I mean, we're not talking days that we have to do that.
Oh, okay.
You know, we're not, it's just a matter of an afternoon.
So the next day after the final meter is read, you send the date over to South Bill. How long does it take them to get it turned over and mailed?
Well, with South Data, usually it's a 24-hour period. They don't work on weekends, so we have to take that into consideration. We don't want to send it on a Friday, because then you got 2 days of this is going to be sitting there. So we try to do it midweek, so we know that it's processed and it's en route in the mail. Well,
And then once they get it, it takes them how long to send out the mail?
well, they'll do it that day.
As long as they get it before 4 p.m., 2 p.m., 12, what?
It's usually after 2 that they'll send it out. And, of course, then you're relying on the postal service. And,
Okay.
so that's an issue. But, of course, our billing company comes out of South Carolina. So you got some time delay there in terms of the mail.
Gotcha.
Which
So,
we try to, being that we've done this for quite a while, we try to take all that into consideration. It's a coordinated event in terms of every month that we get together and we sit down the schedule of when the reads are going to be done and when we're going to get to South Data and the time of the week that it is and
okay, so I don't have a Macon water bill to compare it to or a city water bill, and I live on the well, so I have no idea what this process is like. But the issue is, from the time we read the last meter to the time the person gets the bill, a time lapse has happened, and then they're bumping up against a 7 or a 10-day period to pay the bill. So either we read the meters early or we just extend out the time. Is that the simple solution?
the meter reader starts at the first of the month, and so like I said, you got over 2,000 meters that he has to manually read. But as we get the radio reads in the ground, that's going to change.
Right.
The time period you're grabbing, that's going to change within the next couple of months.
So I'm just trying to solve the problem. Do we just give another 7 days for the bill to be paid?
Yeah, and that's one. Let's walk through, and I don't want to belabor it, but let's walk through the process. If we're reading them, let's start with February. So February 1st, we're reading the meters. How long does it take to read all the meters? A week?
Oh, no. I mean, manually read meters, it takes about a week and a half, close to 2, depending on weather conditions and no weekend work.
All right.
And then the radio reads will take about 4 days, depending on how they pick up. Sometimes if it's a real cloudy, rainy day, it doesn't pick up as well. You got to wait for.
And those can be done at the same time. So we're talking the 14th or the 18th on, if we start on the 1st.
For radio reads.
To get our meters read in-house.
I would say probably 17, 18 days, probably.
So that's the 17th of February. We're sending them on the 23rd or 24th to the billing company that sends them out. So just say they turn it around on the 24th and mail it out. Today is March the 2nd. I don't have my water bill yet, so I know that is 8 days that we have to account for. So, and when are they due? On the 15th? So on the 2nd, that's 13 days. So we went from the 1st to the following 2nd, and I hadn't got, so that's 31 days that we went from the time we started reading the meter till we mailed it, till the customer got it. And that's best case scenario, and we're 13 days from due date. When I start being charged as a customer, charge more. And I understand, no disrespect, but I understand that there's easier ways to do it. Most of my bills I pay online, and I can easily pay a water bill online. But a lot of people don't and can't and don't want to. And so I don't think I don't think that's fair to say, well, if you want to expand your time a little bit, you need to do something different or go online or get an email to get it, because a lot of our older population still writes a check every month and they still want that check to be mailed, and most of them are watching their bank account when that check hits, so I don't know. I thought we had a making company that was doing it. I guess, I know we looked at it one time in the past about doing our own billing, and we found out it was cheaper to have somebody else doing it. But I think, hopefully, maybe the meter reading is going to help us out a lot. If that can cut down that 17-day period right there, then I'd feel a lot better about it. If we can get the customer, that 2 to 3 weeks payment time, because
Yeah, it will. It will cut that dramatically at that time.
I know last month I got it on the 6th, which was on a Friday, and it was due 9 days later on the 15th. And so 2 of those days was Saturday and Sunday. So,
So quick question, in the interim, until we get them all in the ground, adding 7 days, is that going to change anything significantly?
Well, this gives people an opportunity to pay the bill before they get cut off.
Okay,
Because we're eliminating the second month.
right.
And so we added a 7-day grace period. But the penalty date's the same, but we're giving them a 7-day grace to pay it without being shut off.
Okay. So I'm in favor of pushing the 7 days out, and that includes the cutoff and the penalty. I don't want a penalty in the middle of my grace period. Just to make this simple, until we get all our wireless in the ground and we get that process. Because this is really simple, and that stops a bunch of the phone calls last minute, and then the irate customers showing up, right? If it doesn't cost us anything to do this, it's not going to change anything significantly. I don't see a problem with doing something right for the customer, adding a 7-day to the existing grace period and putting the cutoff and the penalty at the end of that additional 7 days, if that makes sense.
So you want to extend the 7-day
To 14,
to 14?
correct.
And then have the penalty at the end of that 14?
Penalty at the end and the cutoff at the end, so that way we don't have any issues. And even if that right now is internal, guess what? We're not telling the customer to pay your bills late, but we're giving them that internal grace period, which is what many of them need because of just the way our system is set up. Now, I'm going to suggest that you recommend getting everybody on email, right? And maybe you make it a requirement. Hey, if you sign up for email billing, we'll give you an extra 7 days. I don't know. How do you incentivize these people? And then the same thing with text billing. I get a message from American Express when my bill is due. I appreciate it. I hit the link and I pay my bill. I don't know if we're that sophisticated yet, but let's figure that out. From the MLS system, that comes from Middle Georgia MLS. It's an invoice bill, and it comes in the mail. I click on it through QuickBooks. I pay my MLS fees, and life is good. I don't know what happens in the background. I don't really care. I just know it's convenient. So the email communication, the text option, and then if we can invoice bill where they click on it electronically and they pay their bill, great. And that may come along with ACH. I don't know. I don't know all the bells and whistles that Tyler has, but they told us it can do a lot, so let's figure it out because we paid a lot of money for it. That's just my suggestion.
I got a question. It seems like the reading is the problem until we get everything in. Have you got the manpower to add extra readers to get the manual done?
Well, if we do, if, let's say, weather situation or something like that, yeah, the guys will pitch in and help.
You see what I'm saying? If everybody said, okay, we're gonna go read, and you got the reading done, you just shorten that window right there, and you don't have to change any policies we got. I'm just thinking, if we got the manpower to do it until April, would you think you'll have them in? What would be the difference of adding the manpower, just not adding the manpower, but using your existing manpower to, let's get the meters read and let's go.
That would be an issue from the very beginning. Why are we not using the manpower to read the meters?
Right. I'm just saying, if it needs, if we just.
You got a lot of people out there in the field. You only got 5 guys. That's we cover a lot.
Oh, no, I just I'm reaching out, just thinking outside the box.
I mean,
I have to remember, when I was a meter reader, it took me 3 weeks. I mean, so we definitely have cut that.
Oh, we definitely moved in the right direction,
Right.
because half of our meters now are
Right.
being read, and if we're talking April, yeah, I would think we can do it between, for March and April bills, make sure we get it done by, yeah, that seems to be the problem, is we're starting on the first, and we, I know it's a lot of different areas we're collecting, but it's still 17 to 24 days before we turn the bill around
Right.
from the first, so that's, if we shorten that window there, then it gives it back on the back end, and we keep the date the same.
So we want this for the month of April?
So the meters will be, you think the meters, you said the meters will be in by
Well,
April?
Yeah, they were delivered today. I mean, hopefully they'll start being installed in April. But, I mean, in terms of the changes that you want me to do, just,
Well, that was my suggestion. The chairman had reading meters faster, and I didn't know that was realistic. So, I mean, are we doing all of the above? More meter reading and the extension?
I say let our department head figure out how he can improve the bill if it takes, I don't know, what's your thoughts, Jeffrey?
to be honest with you, I mean, I use the guys for emergency like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's just a lot that, to fold them off to read meters and everything, it's just so much for them to cover.
Sure.
But, I'll have to, see what I can do, increase the timing of it.
So would the additional 7 days be a more manageable piece for you?
You'd rather have the additional 7 days it's your department. You know you know it better than any of us sitting up here.
Until we get the meters in, then we can go back to,
So this is just a temporary until the meters come in?
Mhm.
So, I mean, until we get the meters in the ground, and then we can.
because I think you'll get that 7 days back once you get the meters in, then we'll be all right.
And I want to clarify that, not just until we get it in the ground, but to make sure that process is working so we get the 7 days. Yeah, I don't want, we just put meters in and up, we go back to the
Do it
system,
for
and we're
90
still
days.
17 days out, yeah.
do it for the next 3 billing cycles.
Commissioner,
Okay.
would you put that in the motion? So we
I
can-
sure will. I will move that we add an additional 7 days of grace period for bill payment and cutoff for the next 3 billing cycles
Correct.
after the meters are installed.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion and second by Commissioner
Sam
Martin.
second.
Motion and Commissioner Kitchen second. We only had 1 second this time. All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Water sewer discussion with the city representatives. We've talked about that in the work session. And, you want to elaborate on that, or we pretty much talked on it?
Yep, I think we talked it up. All we need is a motion, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chairman, make a motion that we ask our county engineer and our water department director to work with their counterparts in the city to bring back recommendations and opportunities for partnerships on water and sewer.
Second.
Second. Any more discussion? None? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you. All right. Old business, Mr. Lowe?
Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice?
John's pointing at you. Don't you hate that when he does that?
That's all right. So at the last meeting, the board asked if I would compile a spreadsheet showing the 3 different mini excavators that were discussed at that meeting. Was able to put together a spreadsheet, and that's in your packet. That's gonna be on page 112, 111 and 112. And did the best I could with this. There's a few blanks there. But anyway, that kind of gives you an overview of the various specifications. And as it turns out, there are a lot of different ways you can measure a mini excavator.
And my
I don't-
thoughts on this, and, you know, we talked about it, you know, because of the price, number one, we need to bid it out, even though it's a state contract. But I think before we get in all this spreadsheet, because I mean, we're not comparing apples to apples here. We got three totally different machines. I think what John needs to do is actually sit down, spec out exactly what he wants, you know, mowers, safety glass, everything you're gonna need on that tractor, spec it out, and then put it out for bid. And that way, all the interested parties can bring their units that meet that qualification to bid on. That way, we've got an apples to apples. Right now, we got high flow machines, we got standard flow machines, and plus we're bypassing the bid process.
I'm sorry, just
I don't know if any of these machines are high flow or not.
I think Komatsu was, wasn't it? I think the Komatsu was high flow, wasn't it? It was before, I think.
so if it's on a state contract, are you saying that we have to bid it out? Because I thought if it's a state contract, we don't have to bid it out, regardless of the price. We don't do that for the sheriff's vehicles.
So there's something in the purchasing ordinance that says if you're going through a state contract or a purchasing collaborative, like U.S. Communities or Sourcewell or one of those kind of things, the board can opt to not go through a competitive bid process.
And so are all of these on state contract?
John's had discussions with.
One of them was the Sourcewell. I think that was the TEC.
Max flow.
You can give him
Just look at the specs, 'cause I don't see any, they're all standard flow, which that's
There's
all.
standard flow here. I think Komatsu before was high flow in the other
Okay,
one.
maybe so.
I mean, it's,
I was looking at flow rates.
But even with state contract, John, did we put out a spec saying what we were looking for, or we just
Well,
call and say we
I
need?
kinda called and told them, you know, I wanted a hydraulic couple, you know, where you could put different attachments on there. And I wanted a hydraulic thumb, and told them what size machine, and I mean, all these machines weigh right at the same, for over 19 to 20,000. But they're different horsepower. All three of them.
So
One of them's 56, one of them's 65, and the cat's 70.
when I would spec them out, I would spec a minimum horsepower, an arm reach, the attachments that I was looking for, and the functions of the equipment, and what safety features they had on them, and send that out to three, because the companies have, they have different, and that's intentional. I mean, they want to promote that mine reaches 15 foot 3 inches. Yours only reaches 15.1, so therefore mine's better. That's the sales of the product. But if you say I'm looking for at least a 15-foot reach, then everybody with a 15-foot reach bids on your product. So that would, I think we need to put out a minimum of what we're looking for, and unless y'all feel differently, that.
What you gonna do about the horsepower?
Well, if you got a minimum horsepower, just say I need at least a 65 horse. And if 65 is what will do the job, I don't care if they put 165, you only need a 65. So, you know, they're going to start bidding on price then. They're not going to try to impress you with an 85 horse, you know, track code when you say you only need 65.
Well,
They're
I
going
mean,
to try to
this right
get.
here is supposed to be classified right at the biggest mini X that you can get. I mean, Cat makes a 309, which,
That's high flow.
yeah.
Which you don't
I
need.
didn't want that.
No, you don't need it. You're not running a shredder or grinder.
That's my thoughts. I say put together a set of specs and, give them opportunity to vote on it based on that.
I'm just curious, John, you know, I don't like making people spin the wheels, but you sent out some requests, then we had the meeting, I think we spent almost 45 minutes on this, and then we had Jason put this into a spreadsheet. From this information, can you make a decision?
Can I make the
Yeah,
decision?
can you make a decision
Make
based
a
on this?
recommendation, what?
Recommendation?
308, yeah.
All right, can you justify your decision is the next question.
Yep, because you just picked the most expensive one, by about $9,000. Tell me why.
Well, it kind of changed a little bit. I don't know if Jason put that in there about the John Deere. I mean, he went up to a 50-inch with a diamond on there. It went from 112 to 119.
So is your rationale for getting a Caterpillar because it has more of X over the others, or?
Well, like I said, the Caterpillar's got more horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
And when
Hey,
they
John,
first done it,
John, they can't, we're gonna have to get you recorded, I'm
okay.
sorry. Make sure the mic's on.
when they first done it, the cat, I mean, I got a price on a 309, but I didn't want to get it because it was a lot more. And then I got with Cat and Flint and tractor equipment. And I told them what I wanted. I didn't specify no length of the boom, because most of them got pretty much same thing on them.
So we're just asking you to justify, like Sam said, the $9,000 value you placed on the Caterpillar over the John Deere? Because the John Deere is $119,000 and the Caterpillar is $128,000. $9,000 difference. Why should we take the Caterpillar? More horsepower, what else?
Right. I mean, the thing, I have to work less when you got more horsepower than less horsepower.
What is the horsepower on the John Deere?
42, so the additional 9 horsepower is worth $1,000 of horses?
It's like 14 horsepower.
Right here.
It's 51.
56 on the Flint and 70 on the Cat.
Oh, so the horsepower here is 51.8. I'm reading the wrong number.
If the parentheses is your horsepower.
The what?
In parentheses.
In parentheses, your horsepower.
Ah, thank you. Okay.
That's your SAE standard measurements.
So for somebody else that operates a tractor, Mr. Wood, is that $9,000 difference worth it?
I got a question about the undercarriage on the Caterpillar. Is it, do you know about I know some of the Cat skid steers that have a triple roller, keeps the track, that rubber track from rolling off. It's different than a steel track machine. What kind of undercarriage does this have? Did you go and look at them?
I mean, they got the rubber tracks on them.
Right, but I'm talking about the front.
You talking about the front idler?
Yeah, front idler.
I'm sure it's, I mean, we can ask, there's Tyler back here. He can tell you about what's on them.
Hold on. I'm just saying we spec it out.
Yeah, I'd say
Spec
spec it out.
exactly what you want,
Right.
you know,
Put out-
minimums and,
Put out minimum specifications and
I mean,
go from there.
specify exactly which mower you want. You know, I mean, everything you want on this is, and that way everybody's completely apples to apples. That way we're not, I mean, it's,
Just, you got two different size mowers on the,
I know one of them was a 40, one was a 42, and then the one was a 50.
right, on this one, it's 50, a 42, and a 50. So you need to have you need to name exactly what you want. How many cutter?
I mean, I'd rather for everybody to, like, bid on the diamond mower.
right, that's
Right,
fine, that's what you need
one
to put in your
mower,
quote.
one width, but,
Right.
some with 4 blades, some with 2 blades, some with 3 blades.
Right.
Spec it out
You
for
need
bid and the
a
question.
standard-
we're not having all these
standard factor
questions
going
asking
into
how many
it.
rollers it's got on it. We done spec out what we wanted, and we know when we sit down who's the winner.
Amen.
Motion? I can't make a motion. I can only give my suggestion.
Chairman, make a motion, we go to bid and specify exactly what we're looking for, and then accept bids. We probably don't have to go out for 30 days, do we? Because it's an item and not a service, is that?
We don't have, I don't think we've got anything in our ordinance that says one way or another on that.
Okay. I'd recommend we go out to bid for 2 weeks and then bring it back at the next meeting.
Second.
Second, any more discussion?
We need to sit down and help John come up with
Right,
different things that he may,
and just make sure you got everything you want and everything we need. I'm big on
Are
safety.
you offering to do that?
well, I mean, between
I'm
different,
gonna add that to my motion if.
different members of the board that may know
You don't
something
need that
about
on the
tractors.
motion, but I mean, I'll be glad if you got any
Yeah,
questions.
sit
I
down
was
with,
gonna say, between you and the chairman, y'all probably had the most
sit down
knowledge
and-
about.
right,
the
sit down and look at
equipment.
all 3 machines, and that way it gives a good, fair,
Yeah.
look over, and
Yeah, that's fine.
go to the different yards and look at them, and
Yeah, that's fine.
So, motion.
now
Motion,
second.
second. We got a bunch of discussion. Any more discussion? All in favor, aye? Ayes have it.
If you go
Thank
out, if you go out, John, call me. I want to go.
I've already give all the dealers a head up about you and your operating scale, so I don't know if they're gonna let you ride or not.
It's all right. Put it in second gear.
Some of them may have that little buddy seat you can sit on, right?
You can sit beside me. I tell you what all the levers do.
Booster seat.
Yeah.
Nah, I got to
With
play
my
with it.
eyes closed.
I can't play with it.
You're too big to sit in my lap like my grandkids do. I'm sure.
It's all right.
They can drive everything I got. You be 18 months old, you drive them around the yard. Department heads, John, do you got anything more tonight? Jeffrey?
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Resner?
No, sir, I don't have anything.
Legal guys, anything?
Nothing tonight.
Wow. Citizen comments, anybody citizen comments tonight? Quiet. How about commissioners? You want to start us off, Commissioner Martin?
Mr. Chairman, I'm excited about us finally getting the software to help us manage some of the challenges we have, not only with waste and trash, but the roads and other public works items. I want our citizens to know they're going to be an engaged part of the process, so it's not an opportunity just to rat on your neighbor, but it's about making the county better. I'm thankful that not only Commissioner Kitchens, but other citizens have made the water challenge an opportunity for us to fix something, to make it better. At the end of the day, I think that's our job, really, to improve quality of life. And believe it or not, 7 days changes the stress factor for getting this bill in and getting it done, and then leveraging all the resources we had to get it done. I'm happy about our audit coming in. It's nice to see that we're making good money, good use of the money that we have. I want to continue to do that as we go forward, and the opportunities to roll stuff back or expand our infrastructure. And I don't want citizens to be upset, but you missed an earlier meeting, and there's a whole bunch of water and sewer projects that may take that money. So that's why they tell me to hold my horses, because I may want to give it back, but we may have a legitimate need for it. I thank Jeffrey and Tim for challenging us to look out the 5 to 10 years and really get some of these projects done. So I'm excited about all that, Mr. Chairman, and I'm looking forward to the next few weeks to finalize some of these plans.
Thank you. Commissioner Vaughn?
Another great informative work session. Look forward to seeing where we're gonna go with that.
Commissioner Wood?
Okay. All right. In the future, in the near future, I want to look at the process to how we evaluate roads. Once again, today I went down Davis Road and I went down Smith Road, and, you know, I know we added added Smith to the list last meeting, but Davis is not on the list, and it is, it's in terrible shape. And I spoke with John earlier about it, so we need to look at the process of how, I'm looking at some of the roads up towards the top. Homer Roberts is in terrible shape, so I'm glad it's at the top. But some of the roads under that are in pretty good shape compared to some of these other roads. I know Wendy's bus drivers have to deal with these roads on a regular, daily basis. And the citizens deal with it many times a day as they go to and from their homes and their businesses. So it's a process that I'm learning, and you know, sometimes processes need to be updated and improved. So, and that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Kitchen?
Yep. Thank you, Chairman. I'll echo what most of the other ones said about our work session. That was good information. I'm glad to see that our SPLOST funding is on the uptick, and I just caution that we as a board make sure that we put back for a rainy day when it is sun shining. So any of the funds that we're getting in now, we need to make sure that that 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan that we talked about is funded for future. But I also like to say a huge thank you to some of our state legislators. House Bill 253, y'all know we sent up a bill that Representative Susan Holmes championed for us for a PFA creation. It actually passed Friday, 154 to nothing in the House, and sent over to the Senate to be read on March the 1st. And crossover day is the 8th, so we'll know it'll be voted on sometime after that on the Senate side. But also, if you didn't get a chance, if anybody didn't get a chance, or you're not weird like some of us and watch stuff like that, but last Friday, Dale Washburn gave a tribute to one of Jones County's own, Lewis Patterson, a tribute to him for Black History Month, and I encourage everybody to go to the legislative website and watch his speech on the floor of the House. It was pretty good. It was good to see recognition from somebody that is from here, but all the good things that he's done and been a part of in his career that if you're not from here and know him, you probably wouldn't know these things. But it was really good. It was a good speech. So if y'all get a chance, go watch that. Representative Dale Washburn speaking on behalf of Lewis Patterson. So looking forward to the cleanup days and getting that word out, and hopefully we can get all of the people that blow up on Facebook about how bad it is can be a part of it, and that we get it done. That's all I got, Chairman. Thank you.
Great. I'm looking for cleanup days too. I've gotten a lot of interest, a lot of complaints, but actually getting that interest. How can I help? That's great when the citizens come forward. But this time I need a motion adjourned to go into executive session for real estate.
Motion to go into executive session for real estate.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Let's have it. Thank you. 2 seconds. Thank y'all.